Hello. I'm a little bit early. I'm like 15 minutes early. I hope that's okay with everyone. Don't mind if you can hear my dog in the background. He has his Kong stuffed with carrots and yogurt and peanut butter, so he's quite happy. I'm so excited to play this. I couldn't even wait until 7 p.m. I'm 15 minutes early. I couldn't wait. So, just a quick recap of what happened. I chose Ventrue because I don't know why, because I just did. And let's see, we were a businesswoman, married to our career, and we went to a hotel. I hope everybody can hear me, by the way. We went to a hotel and got turned into a vampire by a client and were brought before a court. We prostrated ourselves to a toreador named Sophie, who convinced the prince to spare us and not kill us for becoming a fledgling outside of our own will. And she taught us a little bit about how to feed. And we met an anarch whose name was Howard, and we actually got him killed because he's an anarch and because, he was claiming domain in the park or whatever without the prince's permission. So, now it is night 4. Sophie had asked us when we woke up to come and see her. And as you can see by the blood all along here, we are hungry. So, let's just begin. You have these... Well, no, let's try that again. You have these past few nights in a window... Whoa. Oh, okay. I was like, wait, that sentence doesn't make any sense. Once more, darkness falls upon the city. You wake up, same as you have these past few nights, in a windowless room. As you pry open the reinforced steel door, you look out the window to see, invariably, a sky bereft of sunlight. And then it hits you, the hunger. For a moment, you let yourself wonder if there will ever come a night when it's just not there. Given what you've learned thus far, you probably have as much chance of kickstarting your heart with jumper cables. You lock the apartment behind you and head over to Sophie's apartment. You did promise to call on her, might as well not keep the lady waiting. And hey, what else are you gonna do? Get in touch with your boss? Oh yeah, he's probably looking for you, if only to scold you for the unattended files piling up on your desk. But what is he gonna do, call the cops? Ugh, not worth the hassle. You're almost hoping the few coworkers that seemed to give a shit about you were faking it. It would make things easier. A fresh start from the ground up, just like old times. These thoughts put you in a weird mood. It's a strange sensation to walk the crowded streets, same as you have so many times before, but feeling so disconnected. All these people, you're not one of them. Not anymore. You're a vampire, kindred, and you need to carve your own path in this strange new existence one way or another. Appropriately enough, you arrive at Sophie's building just as that thought crosses your mind. A quick word with the security guard and you're let into the elevator. Apparently, Mrs. Langley is expecting you. Of course she is. Hi, malicious corpse. Oh yes, I know you're going on a Christmas vacation. Yeah, I will have a good on life as a Ventrue, thank you. You knock and wait patiently as the footsteps on the other side grow closer. Finally, the door opens and Gregory, Sophie's driver, invites you in. You find the lady herself standing by the window, silhouetted against the city's midnight glow. She stares out, motionless like a marble statue. Can I just stop for a minute and just say, I love the art of this game. And I love the dialogue, the writing. It's fantastic. I mean, look at that. Oh, and look at the animation. It's great. Oh, can we ask her? Ask if we're interrupting something. Hey, am I interrupting something? I have to move my setup for a second. Give me 1 second. There we go. She doesn't react immediately, but seems to snap out of some meditative state and looks at you with strangely bleary eyes. Yes, you are. But that's all right. I've been meaning to ask you something. If you remember, I gave her a southern accent. When you look out at this city, when you see the lights, hear the hum, smell the rain on the pavement, what do you think about? You gaze out. The lights and rain, the relentless honking below, music blasting from a nearby window, echoing off of buildings. Someone should record an hour of this and throw it up on YouTube as an ambient piece. Other than that, though, it's business as usual. The sights, the sounds, the smells, you know them all too well. Sophie watches you. You can tell she's disappointed somehow, but she covers it up with a courteous smile. While not everyone can appreciate the intricacies that the world offers, in fact, among kindred, my clan is somewhat notorious for finding innate meaning even in the mundane. You see, the blood that flows within me is that of Clan Toreador. There are 13 such bloodlines among us kindred, though that number has been contested in the past, and these nights it seems that nothing is certain anymore. The clans have gone by many epithets over the years, but the names used these nights have their roots in medieval times, the original Inquisition, if you can believe it. They used these to categorize us, describe our inherent differences. In time, we adopted them ourselves. Each clan has a uniqueness about it, inescapable, originating from an ancient progenitor carried from sire to child. For the Toreador, the gift lies in a sensitivity of sorts. We are uniquely attuned to beauty and ugliness both. We can see either where most cannot. Okay. A blessing on most nights, occasionally a curse. The sheriff is of my clan as well, although you'd be hard-pressed to see him as such. Poor Kadir. It breaks my heart to see him in this state. Yes, I had thought originally that Kadir was of Clan Banu Hakim, just because of the name. But he is Toreador, as Ian Watson told me. And if you look in the pinned comment I have on my live stream from yesterday, he explains a whole lot about the Coteries of New York, because he's amazing. And everyone should follow him on Twitter. He's always linked, and his Twitter is always linked in my vampire lore videos. Still, there is a beauty to it as well, nothing like a good fall from grace. Try as she might to act playful, you can tell she genuinely cares. She lets her gaze wander for a brief moment, but is quick to regain her composure. Then there are the Ventrue, known for their pride and a proclivity to rule over others. The prince represents that clan, as is quite common in our society around the globe. Where the Blue Bloods think themselves rulers, the Bruja like to see themselves as preeminent revolutionaries. They call for universal rebellion, while being slaves to their own temper. We don't discuss the rabble much anymore, not after they've largely broken off with the Camarilla. To think they were philosophers once, long ago. I hope to tell you more about some of the other bloodlines tonight. I would love to. What's my clan? I will ask that just because I know, but I will ask that. I feel like the volume is quite loud. Let me know if the volume is too loud. Do you know what my clan is? No, I can only guess it based on certain aspects of your behavior and tastes. You will need to come to your own conclusion and seek validation from your clanmates, if you require such a thing. As you will no doubt learn, some kindred fit these stereotypes more than others. The blood is hard to deny, though there are certainly those who try. But that is perhaps a subject for another time. I invited you here for a reason. There is something I wanted to speak to you about. It is customary in our society, especially among younger kindred, to organize into coteries. Sometimes these are called by the prince themselves or mandated by a fledgling sire. In our case, you may treat it as more of a strong recommendation. I want you to seek out companions, not only because you need to learn more about our society, but also because it is useful. True friendships are rare among kindred, but having allies, even temporary ones, is something of a necessity these nights. We might be selfish creatures, but we are drawn to each other nonetheless. What if I want to go it alone? Suppose I'm not the social type and would rather go at it alone. What then? Well, if you find the company of others disagreeable, I certainly don't intend to force it on you. I'm sure you'll find other ways to burn the nights away. But if you ever find yourself in need of assistance, knowledge, or just someone to talk to, it might be painful to realize there's nobody out there for you. Should you get yourself in a tight spot, I will not always be available or willing to lend a hand. So I would suggest you take this recommendation seriously. I love how stylish the game looks as well, Scumbad. It's absolutely beautiful. And I think it might take place in the 90s, but I'm not sure because I haven't seen anyone mention cell phones yet. But I'm not sure. She puts on a mysterious smile. I spent some of my precious time last night asking around, pondering potential kindred for you to meet. Came up with a short list of contacts. I hope you'll appreciate the gesture. Forging a partnership with them might offer perspectives and viewpoints that I cannot provide, lenses through which to view our kind. They are all members of the Camarilla, of course, more or less. Okay, who are they? Alright then, let's hear it. Who's on the list? Eager to learn about them, I see. Good, I'm glad. So let us start with the Tremere. They are a powerful clan, disliked by many, but feared and respected by many more. They have been an important pillar of the Camarilla since the very beginning. They are blood sorcerers. Hi, Melody. Hi, Vampire Penguin. Oh, I'm just glad you're here, honey. You don't have to stick around. I know you're busy. Blood sorcerers. You flash back to one of those nights when your ex would stay up late playing video games. Not a pleasant connotation. Sophie snickers. Oh, child, don't be caught with that look on your face when you meet a warlock in person. They really are adept at using vitae, their own as well as others, to unique and potent side effects. Excuse me. Since they are quite rigid in their hierarchy, the kindred I had in mind for you might need some persuading. His name is Agathon. From what I hear, he is quite the scholar, very ambitious, the child of a noted Tremere here in New York, Aisling Sturbridge. Spend enough time with Agathon, and I'm sure you'll run into her sooner or later. Oh, a scholar? Sounds boring. I'm gonna say a chance to meet an important person then, since my character was a business person, corporate gal. I will say that she would care about that. So by getting to know this Agathon, I can get closer to someone higher up the ladder? Yes, though not immediately, I would imagine. Aisling finds herself in a somewhat precarious position, both in the city and her clan. Every move she makes is heavily scrutinized, thus she has learned to tread lightly. Anyway, if you wish to contact the young Tremere, I hear you can usually find him in a New Age bookstore out on Broadway. The Tremere have one of their workshops here. Gregory will give you the details. Now this next recommendation comes with a bit of a caveat. As you recall me saying, most bloodlines have unique features that might not be obvious at first glance. Well, there is one clan whose members wear their curse on their sleeve. Is it the Nosferatu? Yes, the Nosferatu. I'm a sewer rat. I love the Nosferatu. The way she said it, you're pretty sure it should mean something to you. Other than sounding foreign, it doesn't ring any bells. It's German, actually. Sip of water. I came prepared this time with water and tea, even though I don't like tea. No wonder they make their havens in sewers, abandoned buildings and such. Their appearance is hideous and obviously unnatural. Had they walked the streets like other kindred, the kind would have learned our existence long ago. Did she just shudder? It's hard to tell with her usual complexion, but you could swear her skin suddenly took on an even more sickly color. Don't tell her she has a sickly color to her skin, she'll get mad. The one I have in mind isn't as big an eyesore as the worst of them, but he is no Adonis either. Still, he has some talents and connections you might find useful. His name is D'Angelo, and he has an office, for lack of a better term, in the otherwise abandoned grain terminal in Red Hook, right next to one of those Swedish stores. The name escapes me, the ones with the awful furniture. It's IKEA. Oh, I can't wait till the Primogen reads that. If you don't know who the Primogen is, they're amazing. They make amazing World of Darkness videos. I've guest starred on their videos. They've guest starred on my videos. Check them out. They're so awesome. The Primogen. And they're also streaming this live, I believe, Saturday. What, IKEA? I'll just ask what connections does he have. You mentioned this D'Angelo has some useful connections. Again, I feel like that's what my character would be concerned with. I was just getting to that. D'Angelo does odd jobs for Kadir, digging up dirt, locating kindred who would prefer to remain hidden, the kind of work the Nosferatu are best at. He's on a case right now, something to do with Kine murders, I think. After your initial brush with our dear sheriff, I would think it would be wise to show some goodwill toward his agenda. Assisting D'Angelo with his investigation might be just the thing. She takes a brief pause to look out the window again. Now come the two more exotic proposals. Exotic? As if the blood mage and the vampire detective were business as usual. You may have heard about the Gangrel before. They are a wild clan in touch with their beast in a way others might not dare to attempt. They mostly keep out of big cities, but there are exceptions, like City Gangrel. Nominally, they haven't been a part of the Camarilla for over 2 decades, but so this definitely does not take place in the 90s, because I'm pretty sure the Gangrel left the Camarilla in the 90s, so this is obviously modern day V5. I'm just wondering why I don't have, like, I wasn't worried about my smartphone and my social media and stuff. But the one kindred I would like for you to meet has strong, shall we say, familial ties to the sect. Her name is Tamika. Her sire, Jezebel, was instrumental during the Battle of New York back in 1999, the very same battle that cemented the city as a Camarilla domain. Sadly, her achievements have long gone unrecognized. Tamika and a number of her siblings still reside in the domain they were awarded after the battle, Prospect Park. Jezebel herself left the city some years ago, fed up with being underappreciated. Should I contact non-Camarilla clans? Probably not, but I'm gonna ask anyway. I got the impression contacting vampires who aren't in the Camarilla was frowned upon, but you're saying these Gangrel aren't a part of the sect anymore. How does that work? It's not as clear-cut. The Gangrel as a whole have sworn off the Camarilla, but individual kindred of that clan can still hold our ideals. Jezebel was one of them, before she became jaded. Besides, their domain in Prospect Park has been upheld by Prince Panhard for all these years, has it not? We consider them members of the sect, and they have, for the most part, kept to themselves. Perhaps it will take a young kindred such as yourself to make them realize where their loyalties lie. So you see, taking out Tamika could prove quite educational, if nothing else. And who knows, perhaps you will find her temperament to be a welcome change of pace. But speaking of a change of pace, I have one last suggestion for you, though it's one I don't make lightly. The kindred who calls herself Hope. She's a Malkavian. Oh, awesome. They are a uniquely cursed clan. For centuries we considered them mad, insane, unhinged. But those of us who spend enough time with them come to understand the truth. It's no sickness, but a unique perspective, but a unique perception of the world that has them appear to us as unstable, and that perception can prove to be very valuable. Having a Malkavian as your companion might be taxing on the nerves and a true test of patience at times, but their insight and intuition are unrivaled among kindred. As for Hope specifically, she is said to be a recluse, but I have it on good authority that she can currently be found in an internet cafe, I believe it's called, in Lower Manhattan. Gregory has the address. She doesn't sound like my type. I'm not gonna say that. Where did you learn about Hope? One of my colleagues told me about her. He considers her uniquely talented and tapped into the current fads among kine. Not something I am personally interested in, as I'm sure you know by now, excuse me. I take his word for it, at any rate. Well, I believe that's all of them. I still have a few social calls to make tonight, so I'll leave you to it. Use tonight and tomorrow night to arrange some cordial visits of your own. I will send Gregory for you as soon as I have further need of your services. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need a car. Join us downstairs, won't you? I'm going to take a sip of my disgusting tea, which I don't want, but I figure it will help with the reading. Oh, look at that blood. Oh. Ugh. She smiles once more and turns to her driver. He helps her put on her coat, and the three of you leave Sophie's apartment. Oh, don't mind my dog whining. Sometimes when he's chewing on a really cold Kong, he gives himself brain freeze. Sophie points to one of the cars near the building as Gregory hands you the keys. It's a rather inconspicuous compact car, a decent-looking, if not luxurious, ride. Stay safe, Huddy. This is your first night alone. Don't let it be your last. As they drive away, you find yourself with more freedom than you've had for the past few nights. A blessing or a burden, time will tell. With a list of addresses in hand, you consider your next move. Oh, sweet Jesus, now I get to decide. Okay. Anybody in the chat would like to decide? We have Tamika the Gangrel. D'Angelo, I think, was a Bruja? I actually don't remember. Hope the Malkavian, and I don't know who he is. Agathon, maybe? The Tremere? I think that might be him. Anybody has a suggestion? I'll give you a moment. While I drink my really gross tea that I don't want. Okay, Hope the Malkavian it is. I'm super excited. Well, which one was the Nosferatu? She did mention a Nosferatu, but I don't see it listed on here. Okay, searching for Hope. Sophie suggested you meet Hope, a reclusive member of the Malkavian clan she supposedly holds up in an internet cafe in Lower Manhattan. I need to rest. I need to rest? Why? Why can't I just go? I just woke up. You notice something strange by the front door of your haven. There's a letter slipped under the door in a cream-colored, old-fashioned envelope. There's no name on it, but you know it's meant for you. Opening the letter, it's clear it's been sent by someone incredibly old-fashioned, rich, or a fan of classic stationery. No normal person sends letters like this. The note is small and terse, written in elegant, delicate handwriting. You're cordially invited to a rendezvous at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. I'll be waiting to make your acquaintance tomorrow night. Look for me closer to God. There is no other information. It looks like you have a mysterious invitation for the following night. Sweet, I'm popular. Alright, I want to go see... Oh. I want to go see Hope. Please. Thank you. That's what I want. It's a quiet, moody internet cafe. Half of its space serves as a comfy coffee bar these days, but behind a glass wall, it still has a space dedicated to rows of PCs. From the street, you can notice tired adults in casual clothes typing away absent-mindedly and some bored kids wasting the late evening hours on colorful online games. If Sophie's intel is to be believed, this is where Hope has set up her haven. One of the waiters is standing outside the building, gazing at the sky with a smartphone. Oh, there we go. With a smartphone in one hand and a vape pen in the other. You approach the man and tell him, I'm looking for Hope. No. I'm here on official business. I was supposed to meet Hope here. I'll say that. If I told you I was supposed to meet Hope here, what would you say to me? I'd probably tell you I'm surprised. People are usually far more discreet about seeing her. Well, I'm an idiot. The man slowly takes a drag from his e-cig, sizing you up and down in silence. After a long, awkward moment, he raises his voice again. Come, right this way. He heads back into the cafe. You follow his lead. When you make your way through the space with computers, no one averts their gaze from the spreadsheets, emails, Facebook profiles, or games of Fortnite. Can you play Fortnite on the PC? I have no idea. It's a common sight, one you wouldn't have paid much attention to a few weeks ago, but now it seems so unnervingly quaint. Would they still be spending their time like this if they were immortal? The waiter unlocks an unassuming door at the end of the room and lets you inside. You two swiftly make your way through a labyrinth of sterile gray corridors, taking confusing twists and turns. Feels like you're traveling into a different world, crossing one invisible portal after another. It sounds like a place a Malkavian would be at, let's be real. Eventually you reach your destination. Your guide motions you to enter a dark room with a lone source of pale light, a computer screen in the distance beckoning you to come closer. As you do, you hear the door shutting behind your back and a short chuckle echoing behind it. Is this the place? Nothing else to do but sit on a chair in front of the computer. The monitor displays a modern chat application. A cursor is blinking in the user nickname entry field in the middle of the screen, obviously expecting you to input your handle. After brief consideration, you type in a random string of characters. Type in something goofy, just because I want to see what happens. Maybe it's your newfound sensibilities going haywire, but this place has a barely noticeable sleazy aura. Might as well go along with it. You input pornos collector and push the enter button. After a few seconds, the chat window opens and messages start appearing on the screen in quick succession. Hostage executioner. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, Jerry is... Oh, it's going too fast. I'm so horny. Oh, look at all this stuff. Everyone wants to know who I am. Porno collector. Holy crap, just identify yourself within 2 minutes or get banned. Okay. The chat goes silent, everyone's seemingly waiting for you to say something before proceeding. This must be a close-knit group. Better say something before they kick you out. Who are you people? Just logged in here. Who are you guys? Oh my god. They're all pissed at me. They're gonna dox me. Presents. Try to get the chat under control. I probably shouldn't because I haven't fed yet today, but I don't know if it would work through a computer, but I need to find out. You've had enough of these trash-talking randoms. Time to teach them some respect. Your blood fires up, ancient power starts coursing through your veins, fingers tapping the keyboard buttons on their own. You people better stay quiet if you know what's good for you. You have no idea who you're messing with. You will obey me. I feel stupid right now. The chat goes silent once again, and then it explodes. Yeah. I knew they would do that. That's so funny, because that's totally what my response would be too. Guess your powers don't work online. Go figure. You know your cheeks would turn blood red right now if they still could. Totally. Oh man, they want me to die. I'm literally on my way to kill you right now. Jesus Christ. A split second after you read the message, you feel someone's arm tightening around your neck. The violent return to reality catches you off guard. A jolt of panic rushes through your brain, paralyzing you momentarily. You've come to the wrong chat room, motherfucker. A ridiculous whisper rings out next to your ear, and the grip under your head gets even tighter. You start struggling, but even with your newfound supernatural strength, you're having trouble breaking out. This isn't a normal human you're dealing with. No. Last words. Oh, God. Your chat room sucks ass now. Sophie sent me here. Langley? The hand holding your chin shifts its position slightly. She's using dementation on me. Don't struggle, or I will break your windpipe, or my phone, which would end even worse for you. Sounds of a camera shutter and light flashing. Did they just take some selfies with you? Hi, Elizabeth. No, you're not late. I started early. All you missed is that we got a bunch of information of different vampires Sophie wants us to meet, and the chat decided we're going to meet the Malkavian's Hope first. I think her name was Hope. And we went into her room and started messing with her computer. I'm not really sure why. And she's not happy about it. All right. That's enough fun. I'm letting you go. We can have a talk. Don't do anything stupid, Miss Intruder. Pretty please. The mysterious assailant loosens their grip on you and gently pushes you away. You quickly turn to take a good look at them. Let me just finish this. It's a pale blonde woman in her 20s giving you slightly judgmental looks while rapidly tapping away at her phone screen. First, you notice her outrageous outfit, seemingly thrown together from random thrift store finds. Then you take note of her tattoos, a sprawling tapestry of odd patterns and designs covering every visible part of her body. At first glance, it all seems aimless, but it has a consistent sense of style upon closer inspection. Her eyes focus on you for a second. Gave you a scare, huh? Sorry, that's what you get for entering a lady's haven without her permission. And she's back to her phone. With her relatively small build, it's hard to believe you had trouble overpowering her physically. But then again, nothing is what it seems when it comes to the undead, and even compared to the vampires you've met so far, she comes off as an eccentric, curious presence. She shoots you another glance, noticing you're still cautious of her. Calm yourself, girl. I won't pull anything like this anymore. It was just feels stupid saying it out loud, a vibe check. I could just ask vibe check in 3 different ways. All right. Yeah, I got a glimpse of your vibe on the internet and in a dangerous situation. I'd say I've got a pretty good idea about who you really are. I'm Hope, by the way. If you're here, you've probably heard of me, so I went ahead and skipped the pleasantries. But come to think of it, might have skipped too many of those. Yeah, she definitely fits the description you were given by Sophie. I still can't believe you got so mad online. You actually tried to use your powers on people talking trash about you from who knows where. Jesus. But you know, kind of respect that dedication. It's amusing. Anyway, don't worry about the chat. It was all a game to us. No hard feelings, okay? I'll introduce you properly later. Can't talk. On the monitor, the chatter continues normally. Your visit is like yesterday's news, no longer relevant to anything. But look, if we're going to talk about you, you should have something to say too. What are you doing here? About time, she asked. Note to self, she really loves the sound of her own voice. Sophie Langley sent me. Hope rolls her eyes. Yeah, you said that already. Think I'm an idiot or something? I'm going to say this only once. Please, please, please don't be boring. She starts tapping at her phone again. After a few seconds, some kind of realization dawns on her face, and she turns back to you. Wait. Shit. Are you the new Langley plaything? Word seems to be getting around fast. Of course you are. It was obvious the second Langley got her hands on a new servant, she'd start building a network. Your emissions tell me that could really come in handy when... But Langley, that's a risky game. This kind of ambition attracts too much attention. Piss off. But then again, fucking Kara. She seems to be having a spirited argument with herself, only parts of it audible. Is it just you, or do her facial expressions and body language change a bit between one sentence and the other? Before you make certain it's not just her eyes playing tricks on you, she focuses half of her attention back on you. The other half, of course, is still obsessed with her smartphone. Oh God, my throat. Listen, I'm not saying I'm not interested in, cooperation, but before I make a decision, I need to make sure you sort of understand me and that I sort of understand you. Hey Ethan, how are you? And since I was planning to put on a show before you came here, I propose a little game. Hope absent-mindedly spins her phone in her hand, considering how to put her thoughts into words. Then she approaches a switch on the wall and flicks it. Neon lights flare up, illuminating the room. You take a look around. The room is certainly unique. It looks like a butcher's room, repurposed to be a living space. The modern computer in front of you starkly contrasts the ominous industrial walls. At the back, there's an overwrought bed covered in velvet with meat hooks hanging above. Charming. On top of the bed sheets, you notice what seems to be pieces of elaborate S&M equipment and a camera. Wait a minute. You want my help? Moderate my cam show. Oh my God. Cam show? Your eyebrows twitch involuntarily. This is definitely not the kind of request you expected to hear tonight. She notices your confusion. Take it or leave it, buddy. You just became a kindred, but you want to become my partner in crime? Show me you can handle yourself while watching my back in my everyday environment. She's serious. The show starts in 10 minutes. If you think you're better than this, better walk out the door right now. I won't hold a grudge. I've got better things to do. As if to prove it, she looks at something displayed on her phone and cracks a brief grin. Another reply typed down with absurd speed. Tap, 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 tap. 9 minutes. It's now or never. Show moderator. Risk of violating the Masquerade? High. Content warnings? Oh yes. So do you take the job? By the way, Elizabeth, Ethan, or Ragnarok in the chat, he did the voice for my Tsamichi lore video. And he's awesome. Okay. So, she wants us to moderate her cam show with a bunch of meat hooks and S&M equipment in it. We can obviously opt out of it, or we can say, why the hell not? I want to say, why the hell not? Does everyone else want to see what a Malkavian cam show is? Because I kind of want to see what it is. And I really hope it doesn't get me into trouble. Disgusting tea. Okay, do it, huh? Why the hell not? Hope brightens up and her smile looks surprisingly sincere. Excellent. I promise you might find this interesting in more ways than one. Oh, I bet. All right, give me a second. She spends a minute setting up the computer you used before, then urges you to sit down. Oh, I have to be on camera? The explanation of the moderator's functionalities is simple. It boils down to ignoring anyone who doesn't disrupt the chat, banning anyone who does, and kicking anyone who's causing minor trouble. Oh, do I just have to moderate the chat? That's fine. 5 minutes later, she's already online, sitting on her bed in a provocative pose. It is a sex show, isn't it? Her voice, previously hushed, rings out with full force. How are you doing tonight, hopefuls? You peek at the chart. We're not worthy, queen. Hell yeah, time to, you know, F. Oh, what? Why would I kick? This is, I'm not like super, she does have a lot of tats. I'm not super versed in chat moderation. I would say ignore this. There is nothing going on here. They're just super excited to see her, is my guess. Maybe I'm wrong, but let's find out how wrong I am. You're tempted to try out the kick and ban prompts as soon as possible, but obviously you won't punish someone for a little dirty talk. Right. Thank you. Today's show is quite special. Please welcome our new moderator, Pornos Collector. If you're confused, Ethan, basically this is a Malkavian. Malkavians are, I don't like to use the word insane or lunatics or whatever, but when they become vampires, their psyche sort of breaks, and they're sort of, you know, the chat could probably explain it a lot better than me, but they sort of become in touch with something that's not seeable or audible to other kindred, sort of in touch with something else, and it makes them seem like they're crazy. And she wants me to moderate her sex show, her comments on her sex show. I'm not really sure why, but that's what she wants me to do. I'm sorry for sentencing you to death earlier. Yeah, thanks. At least the community here seems to be a bit more welcoming this time. Looks like this place has an established hazing ritual, or maybe they and Hope came up with one specifically for you, who knows. You decide to stay silent. Eventually, people stop riffing on you and focus entirely on the star of the show. All right, let's start this one with a bang, shall we? Okay. So this is where the strip show starts. You raise your head, curious about what kind of performance she's going for. First, she opens her mouth and reveals her retractable fangs in front of the camera. It seems dangerously close to breaking the masquerade. Right off the bat, the online audience is treated to a sight of her wholly human set of teeth turning into a monster's maw. The image is both revolting and fascinating. No problem, Ethan. That's what I do, is lore, mostly. She raises her left wrist for everyone to see, and then bites. The fangs immediately turn her arm into a horrifying, gory mess. It's unclear if she used them to slash or bite, but one thing is for sure, no ordinary human could cause such damage. If an ordinary human suffered such a wound, you'd expect a geyser of blood to appear too, but it doesn't. Hope's technically a corpse, so it's impossible. She flashes a monstrous smile and starts smearing vitae all over her hands to maximize the impact of the violent image. Then she starts drinking it up. She makes it a point to make the sight as gruesome as possible, looking like a hyena feasting on a corpse. The contrast of her behavior with her look of an Instagram model is stunning. It's very avant-garde. Once she's done, she reveals the wrist to the camera for the last time. She starts making theatrical gestures with her right arm as the wound begins to mend. Shortly after, it's no longer there. It's like a magician's trick. Her left hand looks like nothing wrong ever happened to it. Here's an appetizer. First blood to kick off the show. While you're wondering what the hell is going on, Hope catches a glimpse of your bewildered face and turns into your direction. How is that for an opening? Chick is nasty. This is not a sex show? Sex? What were you counting on me getting naked in front of you or something? Oh, honey, we just met each other. If you expected a strip show, yeah, sorry to disappoint. This is more like, live-streamed digital art. The erotic subtext is there, of course. She is a staple in the dark web, absolutely. You peek at the chat, they're going wild. She did that for free? Huh, I'd love to lick your wrist clean, my fallen angel. Nothing more arousing than a beautiful woman teetering on the edge of oblivion, a rose petal dancing in the eye of a violent hurricane. Okay, found the incel. But eroticism is not the key here. It's vampirism. It's a new frontier, a living art installation. In the early 90s, the Japanese artists kept producing these videotapes of beautiful women committing gory harakiri. Harakiri, is that right? Those are an inspiration. She bares her fangs again in a devious grin. But I've no interest in auto-destruction or turning myself into a victim. This is a celebration of a body I love, not self-inflicted punishment. The audience came here to marvel at a beautiful vampire and her awe-inspiring powers. Mending wounds is just one of those. People watching can pay to see more. Oh, and don't worry. The only things the audience can see and hear are the things I allow them to. We can talk freely. Just remember to moderate the chat, will you? Yeah. Yep. I'll moderate your chat, no problem. High risk of violating the Masquerade. What a joke. She's blatantly breaching it in front of anonymous viewers. Still speechless, you turn your attention to the screen. Muy guapa. Alright, I'm feeling generous today. Have you planned your next tattoo yet? I'll pay for the next. Oh, I can't keep up with it. It's too much. Oh my god. I really need you guys' help here, because I don't know. If it's just the last one, Masochist Sama, and he's just like, oh my god, I mean, do you kick someone for that? Is that spam? I mean, I don't know. Someone tell me what they would do, because I'm totally lost here. I'm a professional YouTuber, guys. I totally moderate my comments and everything. Tisa Rose? Yeah, he did just mass it. I would ignore as well. And he did just, yeah, that's exact. But there are people, I've seen them, you know, where they get really excited about something, you know, something gets announced or whatever, and they'll just do that. And it looks like they just smashed their head on the keyboard out of excitement. So I am just going to ignore it. You let the guy vent his excitement. Seems harmless. Okay. Did he type jerk in the middle of it? I didn't even notice. Good catch. A special message appears on the chat log claiming somebody has successfully sponsored the first goal of the show. Hope smiles and picks up a bag of blood from underneath the bed. It must have been retrieved from a blood bank. She showcases the label to the camera for everyone to see. Drink up, drink up, drink up. Drink up. Heart, 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 heart. Hope pours all the contents of the bag into her throat. You have no doubt it's real blood, but wonder why the viewers would be so satisfied with something that's so easy to fake. Don't worry, it pays well enough. You don't even bother to tell her this is not what you're thinking about. Safe to assume she knows. So what do you know about the kindred and the internet? Have they told you anything? While she is waiting for someone to sponsor her next vampiric feat, she decides to start a conversation. No, I know absolutely nothing about vampires and the internet. At least my character doesn't. I had someone ask me yesterday in the chat, like, because my character's a corporate person, like, wouldn't it be very strange that they would just disappear, you know, in all their social media and their bank accounts and stuff? So, and it was an excellent question. I would imagine the Nosferatu would take care of a lot of it. So I'm going to say no, nothing. I don't know why you'd want to watch this, Ethan. People are weird. There are some weirdos out there. Well, makes sense. Not the first thing you teach to a fledgling. See, some of us used to experiment with our own secure networks. We tried to build our own information hubs, social networks, everything. She's still working the phone in one hand while looking for something under the bed with the other. On how many things can she concentrate at one time exactly? Then one day, the NSA got in. Turns out elders never really got the hang of proper security practices, or the sigils they used to smear on their screens didn't exactly work as advertised. Then, of course, all the other three-lettered intelligence agencies in the world got the intel, and a lot of them decided bloodsuckers were the perfect new enemies for our post-9/11 times. The Second Inquisition came into being. Ever heard of it? A lot of our kind died just because they were too present online. Right now, the remains of our old network serve as government honeypots, kept alive to attract fledglings and hunt them down. You post a certain keyword on Twitter or Facebook, you get tagged for investigation. You fit certain patterns, you get tagged for investigation. So there is a certain thrill in becoming an online presence without attracting attention from the authorities. So is this like being streamed on the dark web, like where you need a special, access to it that they hide in like the calculator app on your desktop? Because otherwise you would be flagged immediately. Yeah, you would definitely be watching it on incognito, special VPN access, absolutely. She stretches on the bed. I hope you are still monitoring the chat. No, we were talking. Of course not. You're not as good at dividing your attention as she is. You correct your mistake and check the recent messages. Aw, is she talking to somebody? Can't wait for the real thing to start. This 2-monitor setup rules Call of Duty on one screen, drop dead hotness on the second screen. The only woman I don't hate. Hope, more like my favorite hoe. Would we kick him? Hope has crabs and gonorrhea? We'd kick him, right? Or do we ban him? Hope has crabs and gonorrhea. I would say that's a bannable offense. I would say she wouldn't want that on there. Anybody agree? Kick or ban? I want to say ban. I just want to ban him. I want to drop the ban hammer on him. Kick? Okay. Let's kick him. You give the guy a kick. Get yourself a normal nickname, douchebag. After 10 seconds, he's back with the same handle. Time for a decision, ignore or ban. Alright, so we're gonna have to ban him. I figured we would have to, because he's a dick. This kind of nickname... Hi, dead guy. Welcome to my stream. Burn him. Oh, Elizabeth, you tickle me. This kind of nickname only suggests trouble. You get rid of them permanently. Good job. Oh, I thought I was congratulating myself. That was Hope saying it. Because I do that sometimes. When I do something right, I go, good job, me. Because I'm sad. Anyway, yeah. When the Nosferatu admitted to the Camarilla their network got compromised, the elders went batshit insane. Internet communications became strictly forbidden. There were executions, which is why I'm on the internet, obviously. A lot of people who use social media to secretly contact their mortal families and lovers got offed. That goes without saying. But if you weren't careful, even the most innocent web usage could result in being punished with final death. Thanks to user Dicksteal, the next goal has just gotten successfully funded. Let's go, Vanishing Act. Dehumanize yourself and face to bloodshed. Okay. She raises her hand. 3 fingers up, 2 fingers up, 1 finger up. The countdown ends, and she immediately disappears from the screen like a ghost. Is that her saying that, or is that me describing that? Because it seems like a weird thing to say out loud. You can still see her on the bed, but the live feed indicates there's nobody there. When you deeply focus on the digital image, you swear you can make out some unusual glitching where her silhouette should be, but it could very well be just a placebo. You ready for this? 3, 2, 1. A flash of a camera. The instant she reappears on the screen, she takes a selfie, sticking her tongue out in a provocative manner. The chat room explodes in cheers again. She is their vampire queen. You briefly wonder about her being glued to the screen. Is this the fantasy everyone is here for? A girl showing off cheap magic tricks while lazily browsing her social media? You realize you are way out of your depth here. Meanwhile, Hope decides to continue her lecture. I don't think, to be honest, Ethan, I don't think vampires' arms get tired. Oh, did Arkin pee on you, Melody? I'm sorry. Babies do that. Those were some wild times, especially in New York. While most of them have no clue as to our real nature, a lot of clandestine organizations have classified us as national threats. And since this is where the towers fell, the agencies are very much present around here looking for easy PR victories. The last SI raid here was just a few years ago, not a few hours ago, that would be bad. And it was a big one, stirred up the hornet's nest something fierce. But although it's 2019, New York City is ruled by someone who got embraced before World War II, and the cam as a whole got really spooked and swore off the internet. So the prince is a boomer then. No, before World War II wouldn't be a boomer. That's the silent generation, I think they're called. Of course, they're not dumb and understand that you can't really coexist with modern kind without the internet. True. It's a gray zone right now, like piracy. Technically frowned upon, but let the one without sin cast the first stone. The SI is a real threat, no joke. But in many senses, the darkest place is right under the candle. You take another look at the screen. We want blood. How about some bat stuff? Can you do some bat stuff? Can you show us next time? It's been a long, hard day. Please give me a shout out. A familiar nickname pops up. Masochist Sama. Oh, it's him again. Alright, that one is... Nah. Ban him. That's just spamming the chat, in my opinion. I'm just gonna ban that. Is he hitting his keyboard with his head or something? Alright, be gone. Well, that was overzealous. Please, please, please don't terrorize my viewers, will you? Why? He's spamming the chat. Psh, you don't know. All vampires are boomers. The chat is ridiculing you again. That wasn't the best choice. Let's hope you can bounce back from that. Whatever. Whatever. If everyone in here just started banging on the keyboard, cat on the keyboard again. If everyone in here just started banging on the keyboard, I would be like, stop or you're banned. No, actually I wouldn't. I would just be like, cut it out. Ugh, my teeth. I'm super, like, forceful. Oh yeah, fun fact about being a vampire. We can sweat and pee if we just exert ourselves really hard. That's interesting. Some of us can even orgasm. We can even cry, but only tears of blood. It's something I always dreamed to do when I was 14. So romantic. And it drives them crazy. As proof of her words, a scarlet tear starts running down her face. The chat goes wild. This seems to be exactly the kind of thing they've been waiting for. Ah, an angel that fell down from heaven. Oh my god, she did it again. Beatific. Hope your tortured soul finds some calm eventually. Can you imagine USA assembling a blood-sucking squad that would just cruise by the border and suck blood out of any illegal they found? The very thought of it gives me the biggest boner. That's the boomer. I found the boomer. It's this guy. Fuck, man. Oh, God. I wonder what would happen when a young vampire turned into an older vamp and yelled, "Okay, boomer, we got already." You know, that would be a thing. I would imagine a lot of thin bloods run around cities saying, "Okay, boomer," to their elders. Or not to their elders, but to any vampire older than them. If they can survive, that is. I don't know if I should ban this. If it was me, I would be like, get out of here. But what am I supposed to do with this information? He's just saying crap that has nothing to do with anything. But is, you know, but he's not saying like, you know, Hope's a jerk, I hate her, I hope she dies. I don't know. I seriously don't know what to say here. Yeah, they could say, "Okay, Zoomer." That makes sense to me. I kind of want to just ignore this because, I mean, I got called terrorizing her other user for banging his head on the keyboard. Any thoughts? Anybody? No thoughts? Is everybody just as confused as I am? I'm gonna say ignore, which is probably a mistake, but I don't really know what else to show here. Okay. Alright, good. Everyone else said ignore. You aren't sure if the guy is just satirizing a certain type of poster, so you give him a pass. However, the chat quickly makes it sure he's known here as a repeat offender. Who the fuck let fuckmen back in here? Fuck out of here, you racist shithead. This is so confusing. Where the fuck is Porno Collector? Wanking off instead of doing their job. You guys are jerks. Hope gives you a tired look before continuing on with the show. You correct your mistake and ban the guy before, but the damage is done. Ban the guy before? Alright. Everyone starts clowning on you again. I don't care if these random weirdos on the internet are clowning on me. I don't care. Even if I was like a popular YouTuber. You know, let me say something real quick. Yeah, dead guy, you were right. I should have banned him. I'm an idiot. Let me just say something real quick. There was like an update in YouTube's policies about harassment, and I'm like not a fan of it. I mean, clear harassment is like harassment, but you know, making videos on other YouTubers who happen to be crappy people, not going to say any names, I'll just say the word onion and leave it at that, shouldn't be something that should be punished, in my opinion. And, you know, I've had my YouTube channel for a while now, and I've had bad comments before, and it doesn't bother me. But I've had people actually send me messages and say like, "Oh my gosh, on this such and such a video, I saw this guy said such and such a thing, and you know, don't listen to them," and blah blah blah. And my answer, Huddy spilling tea, my answer is always the same. Whereas I knew what I was getting into when I put myself online. No, I don't put my face online. I mean, I have an Instagram, but I never use it. But I knew what I was getting into putting myself on social media. It doesn't really bother me. You can say whatever you want from me. It's just words. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't have any feelings. I don't have any feelings in my cold, dead heart. So yeah, I don't get it. I worry sometimes because internet and social media become so ingratiated into our, you know, everyday, into our psyche, that people get so offended. They're like, "Oh, you're cyberbullying me," or, "Oh, you know, you can't call me fat." You know, I don't know. It's just a faceless person behind a screen, and who cares what they say about you? That's just my 2 cents in that. I don't know. I think people are a little sensitive. I do hate tea. I absolutely hate tea. That's why I'm spilling it everywhere. Just to be clear, you realize what we're doing here is a blatant breach of the Masquerade, right? Yes, obviously, you're showing everyone your vampirism on camera. I honestly expected you to leave or inform somebody by now, but you haven't, have you? Yeah, and to be fair, Elizabeth, Americans tipping out the tea again. I am, from Boston, as is Vampire Penguin 09. And so we know all about dumping the tea. We know all about it. Let me just finish off my tea as I say that. You try to focus on the chat. In any case, the last goal has just been funded. It's time for the great finale. This is what you've all been waiting for, right? Yes, queen, yes, queen, yes, queen. It's like I'm watching RuPaul. Her voice has changed. She gets closer to the camera, letting her face fill the frame of the live feed. Her mesmerizing eyes are focused purely on the viewers. You wanted blood? Come out into the streets, claw out your neighbors' throats, slash their veins, and drink up. Sounds like something you would hear before the purge started. Yes, queen, yes, queen, yes, queen. Yeah, and Ethan is also British, Elizabeth, so you guys can argue about tea. I'm anti-tea. I just had chamomile tea with honey in it, and I'm like, it was disgusting. Every every sip was gross. Hope's presence becomes absolutely horrifying, and it influences the chat in some incomprehensible way. Everyone starts typing like they were possessed. Liberate yourself from the shackles of ordinary morality. Make them scream. Feel the warmth of their entrails. Okay, so that's why she didn't... How was I supposed to know that? That's why she didn't want me to ban that guy for the cat walking across his keyboard. Because this is what she does. This is what she does, I guess. I don't know. It's a chain of cafes called the Boston Tea Party in Bristol. That's amazing. Melody and I, or Vampire Penguin and I, used to go visit the... I'm not sure if it was the same ship or if it's like a recreation of the ship where they dump the tea. It's like sitting right in the harbor. Tea salty from tears. I'm so sorry. I'm a coffee drinker all the way. I'll drink coffee all day long and then, crash out at 2 in the afternoon. What the hell is she doing to these people? What have you gotten yourself into? I don't know. Transcend your bodies. Release the message of hope into the world. She starts jerking violently for a second and then falls down on the bed like a marionette that had just had its strings severed. She exhales loudly a few times and laughs. When she does, the room goes dark again. All right, that's enough. And scene. Instead of taking the last shot, she does something with her phone. The stream ends and the chat instantly becomes dead quiet. Let me take over. The atmosphere in the room has completely changed. She's already put herself together and stood up. Now she's walking towards you. What the fuck just happened? Guess the show is over. Everyone relax and go home. Aw, and I was almost ready to do that, bros. I swear on my father's grave one day I will find you and kick the ever-living shit out of you. Okay? After every line she delivers, she changes her voice, the way she puts her lips together, and even the way she moves. You've caught glimpses of her acting this way, but only now have you started to figure it out. I'm confused. I'm very confused. What the hell just happened? Or I'll say, wait a minute, does this mean, so I don't sound totally dumb, but I'm like totally, I don't get it. Wait a minute, does it mean... Okay, are you saying that every person in her chat room was her, and she was simultaneously on her phone being all of the people in the chat? Is that what we're saying? I'm immortal, I'm bored, I'm separated from most vampires in the city by a generational chasm, and I'm so goddamn lonely. The internet used to be my only friend. Info dump delivery service. Years ago, I started researching Telpus, collective consciousness. I should read it in her voice, I guess. Collective unconsciousness, all the mumbo jumbo at the intersection of psychology and spirituality, and I decided to experiment. The show was fake. I'm sorry, that didn't even cross my mind because it seems so impossible to, because I know what it's like to log out of different accounts and stuff. That takes forever. Sorry. A few years later, I was an Instagram fashionista, a successful erotic model, a vital part of pop culture commentariat, a viral shit poster. Is that like a commonly used word? Because they use that here in Germany. That's why I said it funny. Commentariat. A viral shit poster, a cryptocurrency expert. All of my internet selves started signal boosting each other. That's what she's doing, paving the way for new ones. I became a one-woman empire surrounded by legions of psycho fans. But if you're all signal boosting, if all of the fans, are you, the psycho fans are you. That's you. Yeah, my phone would literally explode. The chat was fake. Yes. Some may think of it as a dissociative identity disorder, but that's bullshit. Everyone has an online alter egos they buried. I just resurrected them, gave birth to new ones, and let them crossbreed. Her constant tapping at the phone, even during the show, somehow she is capable of impersonating an entire chat room. I'm shooketh. I'm shook. Commentariat, they use that to describe momentum on Twitter? Really? I didn't know that. I don't even have a self that could disassociate or be mentally ill. I'm a host, a living database. This is what we were talking about, Ethan, in the beginning, of how a Malkavian operates, and why a lot of other kindred are I just can't get down with that. It's too cray-cray for me. I live because I find it fun to be an information conduit, to process trends and support the ones I deem worthy. There was no Masquerade violation. She was showing off her skills all along. She put you into a world of pure fiction, the same way she was testing you back when she attacked you from the back. Damn, she's good at this. Of course, you can just... Malk, David. Of course, you can just ignore what I'm saying and decide I'm just another deranged Malkavian. But hey, annihilation of the self is the only way to survive in the 21st century. If there was ever... Oh, sorry, my brain zonked. If there ever was an era that demanded images of beautiful people transcending beyond humanity and inspiring others to do the same, it's this one. That sentence totally blew my mind. I couldn't read it right. Although for now, because of the Masquerade, my audience is quite limited. Speaking of, you want to be the star of my next movie? I kinda want to say yes. I kind of want to say sure, why not, because I'll let you guys decide. I'm gonna take a really quick potty break. I'm back. All right, I'm gonna say sure, why not? I have a hunch you're just saying that. Still, hey, in a way, this too is transcending beyond self. But yeah, your test is over. Now the question is, do I want to work with you? She puts away her phone for the first time since you've met her and gives you a good hard look. Guess I can give it a shot, yeah? You're not that dumb, you're not that boring, and you're kind of cute. No, darling. You are adorable, but no, I could not get down with all that crazy. I'm sorry. Don't worry, no more modding jobs. Mods get attached. That's always bad news. She grabs your arm and starts leading you out of her room. I put you through enough shit. Next time, I'll let you in on a little job I'm doing. We'll hit the streets and you'll see why Sophie told you to contact me. She leads you through a labyrinth of gray corridors. It's a different route than the one you made your way through in. The city is so much more than what its elites consider real. Stick with me, and I'll guide you to places Camarilla elders couldn't reach in 100 years. She leads you out of the building into the back alleys. Did one of them say Vivo? I didn't even notice. Even if someone else rules the streets, we will rule the information highways. This is the power of hope. She lets out, oh, I got an achievement. She lets out a theatrical laugh and disappears. You don't even notice when she leaves you alone, but you assume everything went as well as it could. A new ally, the power of hope. As you walk off into the night, ooh, shadows, everything around you feels a little less tangible than it did a few hours ago. Okay, well that was fun. Can I not rest before I go visit somebody else? Okay, so the choices are to go to the mysterious cathedral, to the mysterious cathedral invitation we got from our like an invitation at our apartment. Can't think. We can go visit a Tremere named Agathon. We can go visit, oh, this one has Kadir in it, oh my god. We can go visit a Nosferatu named D'Angelo, which is him. Or we can go visit a gangrel named Tamika. What do you guys think? I'll tell you what I want to do, just because it's me. Excuse me. I want to do D'Angelo just so we have a chance to meet Kadir again, because of all the people we've met, the only one I'm down so far with is Kadir. Maybe the dude we met before who was a primogen wearing the jogging jacket, but I don't remember his name. Okay, so we say gangrel. Go meet Tamika. We can do that. Alright. Sophie mentioned a gangrel neonate by the name of Tamika who's made herself a haven in the Prospect Park. Jason Momoa. Oh, Ethan, you remembered from yesterday. The guy was kind of mean to me and I'm into it. But we're gonna go visit Tamika at Prospect Park. See what she's all about. I really need to feed though. That's the thing, is I hope I meet somebody I can eat. We will definitely get to talking to my man Kadir. Don't worry about it. You make your way through the Grand Army Plaza, passing the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arc. You can't help but feel a tinge of nostalgia as you picture the place as you've seen it countless times, in broad daylight, teeming with life. You quickly get over it and pass through the Northwest Gate into Prospect Park. The park is its usual maze of unkempt foliage and dimly lit alleys. Silence hangs in the air as it would at this time of night, and there doesn't appear to be any sign of kindred presence. You start to suspect Langley's sources fed her a bunch of bullshit, but you're not willing to give up just yet. Hi, Skull Kid. Welcome to the stream. Oh, did you finish a whole session of this game? That's awesome. We just met Hope the Malkavian, and now we're going to meet Tamika the Gangrel, so I'm super excited. Bye, Elizabeth. Thank you for coming to the stream. It was awesome to see you. As you ponder your options, you hear footsteps coming from behind a line of trees. Quick but evenly paced, most likely a late-night jogger. Ooh, can I eat him? Can I eat him? No vampire would take kindly to you feeding in their domain, but then again, perhaps you could kill two birds with one stone. I'm gonna take the feeding opportunity. That's probably a ginormous mistake, but I'm hungry, alright? Don't get between me and a meal. It won't end well. You lock onto the sound of footsteps, predicting the runner's path. You move swiftly but quietly to intercept them. You're on night 5. I met Agathon and the Malkavian detective. I think, isn't the detective supposed to be Nosferatu? D'Angelo? I don't know, I haven't met him yet. You lock onto the sound of footsteps, predicting the runner's path. You move swiftly but quietly to intercept them. You hide behind a tree and wait for your prey to get closer. Mere seconds later, a young man in an off-brand tracksuit trots into view. You notice the buds in his ears, beat-heavy music bleeding through. That should make things easier. Just as the man passes by, you emerge behind him and plant your hand firmly on his neck. He struggles at first, desperately trying to break free of your grasp, but as soon as your fangs pierce his skin, panic gives way to a peaceful submission. You feel elated as the warm liquid trickles down your throat. The fresh vitae washes over your senses, sending an orgasmic shiver along your spine. Somewhere in the deepest, darkest crevices of your mind, the beast stirs in its slumber. You stop feeding just in time. Your hunger satiated, the beast fast asleep. You sit the dazed victim on a nearby bench. As the world comes back into focus, you suddenly realize that something is not right. In a split second, the air by the side of your head swirls like a vortex. Driven by sheer instinct, you lean back just as 5 finger-shaped razors cut through the darkness, missing your face by an inch. I'm sorry. I'm hungry. You probably called him Malkavian because I said hope the Malkavian a second ago. A clawed shadow jumps back a few paces, preparing to correct its mistake. Please don't. Girl just needed a snack. You catch a glimpse of the assailant. Looks pretty animalistic, all right, but he's not the one you're looking for. For starters, it's a he. Just as he's about to lunge at you, a snarl resounds from the bushes nearby, stopping your foe in their tracks. Out of the shadows emerges a young woman, baring her teeth ever so slightly. She walks over calmly, her eyes fixed on your assailant. Her presence is enough to make him reconsider attacking you, but not to withdraw completely. He glances over to her, puffing up his chest. I have no idea what accent to do for him, honestly. I'll just sort of do like a gruffer voice. Stay out of it, Tam. I smelled her first. Tam, how about that? She raises an eyebrow but remains silent. Her compatriot turns back towards you. You shouldn't have come here, girlie. I'm gonna fuck you up so bad, you're gonna wish I didn't fuck you up so bad. You'll be wearing your tongue as a fucking necktie. Yes, Skull Kid, ask away. Talk away in the chat. I am checking it. Tamika looks at you expectantly. Dominate, force him to flee. I'm not gonna do that. I definitely don't want to say, so you can bark, let's see you bite. I'm not that stupid. I'd say, easy there, I'm not looking for a fight. I don't know. I don't think so. I think the Jezebel in VTMB was a Toreador, but I could be wrong about that. Plus, it was spelled differently. When Sophie told you about her sire, Jezebel, she said it was 2 L's and an E the way it was spelled, so I think it's a different Jezebel. I say, easy there, I'm not looking for a fight. You've made your point, okay? Confirmed badass. I'm not looking for a fight. Tamika tilts her head in a way that's barely noticeable, and yet strangely expressive. She seems disappointed. Well, she's a gangrel. Of course she'd be disappointed that I don't want to fight her. What references did I miss it? I probably did. The man loosens up, his lips twisting into a wry smile. Clearly, you just gave him the confidence boost he needed. Figures. You know what you look like? A stuck-up bitch. All high and mighty in a boardroom, but out in the wild, you're just a scared little girl. Well, guess what? You ain't getting off that easy, chicken shit. A fierce growl echoes across the alley, stopping the savage in his tracks. Tamika walks over to her comrade, her fangs glistening in the dim lamplight. She puts her hand on the side of his head, caressing his hair and tugging at his ears as if she was scolding a puppy. She leans over and speaks in a voice that's firm yet oddly affectionate. Oh yeah, I don't know what voice to do for her either. It's okay, Declan. I'll handle it from here. The male gangrel looks at her with a mix of timidity and resentment, then he turns back towards you. Fine. They're not worth the effort anyway. Having said his piece, Raoul retreats into the shadows, although if you were to guess, he's likely to stay within earshot. With her companion gone, Tamika turns to you once more. I wish I could do like a Creole type of accent, but I just can't. I just can't. What do you want? Straight to the point. I like that. I don't care what you like. Now quit stalling. You have something to say? Say it. I want us to be friends. I have to say that. I have to, because it's so unbelievably ridiculous and dumb to say. Fair enough. Look, I'm new to this whole vampire thing. I figured it wouldn't hurt to make some friends. People I could count on, and they could count on me. I'm sure the encounters would be different. They might be different depending on what clan you are. That would actually be really cool. So, you want to help me with something? Because you want to be my friend? That about right? Sounds corny, I know. Oh. Uh-huh. She puts on a veneer of skepticism, but you can tell she's intrigued. Corny's not bad, though. I think I'm okay with corny. What I'm not okay with is putting my ass on the line and getting stabbed in the back for my trouble. So why exactly should I trust anything you say? Why would I say this isn't like Jezebel? Oh, God, that sounds like a stupid thing to say. My mouse is stuck, hang on. It might convince her, though, that I know about her, that maybe I was sent from Sophie, so I... yeah, why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? I'm going to say that because I feel like maybe she... it's going to go one of two ways. Either she's going to be impressed that I know about it, or she's going to be pissed off that I know about it. It can only go one of those two ways, so let's give it a go. I know how the Camarilla treated your sire. I know you all got burnt. But that's not how I do things, and you're not Jezebel. For a brief moment, she stares off into space. You can tell you've struck a chord. Is that a good chord or a bad chord? Finally, she snaps back to life and looks at you with a mix of hope and melancholy. I'm not, aren't I? That sentence isn't grammatically correct. It would be, I'm not, am I? For a brief moment, she stands there motionless, looking straight into your eyes as if trying to size you up. Finally, she looks away. It looks like she's come to a decision. Just so that we're clear, I don't trust you. I have no reason to. Frankly, you sound more lost than I am. Still, there's something about you. You look like you should reek of bullshit, but somehow you don't. So I'll give you a chance to prove yourself. I have some... Ooh, I got another achievement. A walk in the park. I have some outstanding business to take care of. I'll let you know once that's done. Meet me here, and we'll see what you're really made of. And with that, Tamika disappears into the night. That went pretty well, all things considered. Hi, Ethan. Welcome back. I didn't know you left. Okay, so I need to rest now, I think, before I can go talk to anybody else. That was really quick compared to Hope's, honestly. I don't know if he'll be mad that I didn't go visit him. Didn't accept his invitation right away. Not long after you wake up tonight, Gregory knocks on the door of your apartment. Hey, I came to pick you up. Miss Langley wants to see you. That's my attempt at a British accent. What if I don't want to see her? Why would you be so petulant? I don't get it. I'll say, well, my freedom was good while it lasted. Those last 2 nights were nice. I had freedom, initiative, good while it lasted, I guess. He smiles apologetically. Don't shoot the messenger. The car's waiting, shall we? You wrestle with the same thoughts as a few nights ago. Maybe you should just leave, disappear, let Sophie find somebody else to employ. Found out Kadir is a Toreador. Yes, I found that out as well when Ian Watson left an excellent comment on my other live stream, which I pinned because it was excellent. But then you remember the Anarch thug being cut down by Kadir and how close you were to the same fate not even a week ago, and that it might still happen if you step out of line. You follow suit. As with your previous visit here, Sophie seems not entirely present when you enter. Her eyes are locked to one of the paintings in the room. Sip of water, please. You're pretty sure it's been here before, but she's behaving as if she's seeing it for the first time in her life, entirely entranced. Oh, she's a Toreador. Gregory clears his throat. Sophie turns to the both of you, a bit of irritation in her countenance, which soon gives way to a pleasant, warm smile. You're here. Excellent. Thank you, Gregory. Her driver leaves, and she turns her attention to you. I hope you had a good few nights and made some new acquaintances, but I have to say, I'm happy to see you, Huddy. Thank you for coming. The change of the mood in the room is so sudden and startling it makes you consider the true power of vampiric charisma. Rationally, you know you're being manipulated, but you don't even care. Her eyes, her motions, her entire body language all feel 100% genuine in expressing legitimate interest in you and your well-being. Well, I'm glad you get to see something a little different. Skull Kid. I have a request for you this night. I need you to find somebody for me and make a delivery. She points to the statue on the side of the apartment. You notice a plain-looking pen drive lying on the corner, right next to where the inanimate archer's bow touches the pedestal. Where? Here. Right about here-ish. The man you'll be looking for calls himself Kaiser. Or, I can't say it in German. Kaiser. With a southern accent, that doesn't work for me. He has eyes and ears all around New York, and it's rare for something to happen here without his knowledge. Is he German? I speak German. I'll need you to take this memory stick and bring it to him. In exchange, he will give you an address, which I need to know as soon as possible. You're about to ask what's on the drive, but Sophie proves to be one step ahead of you. Oh, don't worry about the contents. They are encrypted, a precaution if the data fell into the wrong hands, but it won't, yes? She gives you a smile that, just a handful of nights ago, would make you feel like melting. Oh, and Huddy, Kaiser is a Nosferatu, that twisted, deformed lineage of kindred. He is old, and his age made him even more paranoid than others of his clan tend to be. He holds many havens and changes them often. From what I have gathered, him or one of his servants should be found at the park on Coney Island tonight. You'll have to identify them somehow. I'm told Kaiser has spent many of his nights these past few years being driven around the city in a black limo. Maybe keep your eyes open for it. That smile again, but much shorter. I don't think she'll answer me, but I will ask what her trade deal with Kaiser is, because I'm curious. Why do you need to trade with him? Can't you just request the information, given your connections? Kaiser doesn't care about my or anybody's position. He considers information as valuable as blood, like a true Nosferatu, and makes it a point to never share it for free. He only deals with people who have something to offer, but trust me. She picks up the pen drive and puts it in your palm. I have more than enough means to grab his attention. She flashes one last smile at you and turns back to the painting, clearly done with the conversation. You pocket the memory stick and head out towards Coney Island. Takes you the better part of an hour to reach the lights and sounds of the Coney Island amusement park from the city. The drive is almost pleasant at this time of night. Thank God for Belt Parkway. The Belt Parkway. There's plenty of people here tonight, but nobody who stands out as a traveling purveyor of secrets. Then again, if they did stand out, it would have been kind of pointless, right? Nothing to do but figure out the right approach. Search for signs of Kaiser. I keep saying it's Kaiser, but I keep saying Kaiser because I've played so much Fallout New Vegas that it's kind of stuck in my head that way. For the Legion. There's plenty of nooks and crannies to investigate here, but if Kaiser frequents this area, there has to be some clue to grab onto, right? You spent a good hour snooping around, eyes peeled for the black limo Sophie mentioned, or any sign that a Nosferatu, or any vampire, has their haven around these parts. Zilch. Annoyed, you turn back towards the lights of the amusement park and find there's a man standing in your way. He's got an oversized jacket on him and an air of a junkie or dealer. Who knows what he's got in those pockets? You lost? Not lost, just sightseeing. Just taking in the sights. Sure you are. He looks at you intently like he's trying to guess your real purpose here. Oh, seriously? You've only ever played Fallout 4? Fallout is great. I love all the games. All 1 to 4. Get out of here before I kick your ass. Sure. After I guess I'll ask him about Kaiser because I don't want to. I guess I'll just ask him about Kaiser. I don't know if it's weird. I feel like I'm not very good at being like at being like covert, like not in real life and not really in games either. So I'll just ask him about Kaiser. Sure, man, whatever you say. Just tell me if you know a guy named Kaiser and I'll be on my way. Nah, don't know who that is. Because it's not you. He's a terrible liar, clearly full of shit. Make him give you his phone. Tell him Sophie sent you. Intimidate him into contacting Kaiser. I could use dominate, but I will try to intimidate him. Because I don't know if I want to use dominate. Oh, what the hell? Dominate him. I feel like a dick all the time doing this to people, but just go ahead and do it. Give me your phone and go for a swim in the bay. Jesus, he'll drown. It's a hunch. You give that simple order and the man can do little to resist. He produces his phone. It's a fancy model. Doesn't look like anything readily available on the market. Hands it to you, turns away, and starts walking. The phone's locked, but a recent smudge on the screen gives you a rough idea of what the combination might be. You get it right on the second try. There's just one number in the phone book, unlabeled. You choose it, hear someone pick it up. The voice is like a rusty pitchfork shoveling gravel. Jackie, you're messing up my snuff session here. Better be something big. I'm gonna come to Coney Island. Yes. I'll be waiting. Silence, not even a sound. The call ends. You try calling again, but the number is blocked. Nothing to do but wait to see if he shows up. Not 15 minutes pass before a black limo stops near where you're waiting. One door opens an invitation. The inside of the limo used to be a luxury lounge, the kind with a stripper pole and a bar full of alcohol, but it has none of that currently. Instead, there are monitors and consoles. I know you had trouble with Fallout 3. I love Fallout. I play it all the time. Fallout New Vegas is my favorite, though. Dozens of displays, each one showing something different. Surveillance camera footage, stock market quotes, television news, emails, tweets, silent movies, lo-fi footage of a gory torture session. You wonder if the limo's owner can focus on anything when surrounded by all of this visual noise and then realize there's nobody there. Or is there? He's just using obfuscate, because he's awesome. He blinks into existence on a leather-covered couch, attempting to maintain something that approximates a regal presence. You're 100% sure that's Kaiser. Surrounded by dimmed computer screen lights, his features are even more ghastly than you imagined. All sharp angles of twisted bone, severed flesh, and crooked teeth. My people! The Nosferatu, love them. He bears them in an awful parody of a smile. Suddenly, somebody grabs you from behind, twists your arm, pushes your head against the car's roof. I got him, boss! I have him! The Nosferatu chuckles. Oh, congratulations, dickweed. Could have done that before you gave away the fucking phone. Just let them go already. But, you going to make me repeat myself, you thick motherfucker? He lets go. You have a look at him. The man's confused and soaking wet. He flashes you an angry stare, but obeys his boss's orders to the letter. Well, you waiting for a formal invitation? Get in the car. We have some talking to do. The doors close behind you. Well, I'm here, and I'm pissed. Unless you have a death wish, I assume there's something you have for me. Indulge me or start figuring out how to drink blood with your fangs up your shitter. You reluctantly pull the flash drive from your pocket and slowly pass it to Kaiser. Let me give him the clamps, boss. What do they call Bender in that? What? It's something with a B, I know. It's like Blotto or something, right? The nickname they give him. Or they try to give him the nickname Clamps, I think. He plugs it into a USB port in the arm of his chair and displays the data on one of the screens that happens to be turned away from you. It takes him about a minute to access the data. There we go. Let me guess. This from Langley? She said she'd have something like this. You were a new flunky? Yeah, this is a really impressive man cave, isn't it? I don't know if it's a mobile man cave. I don't know if that appeals to people. You need to bite your tongue to not argue with the word he used, but you nod. Who do people think I am? I've seen this footage a week ago. He pulls the pen drive out and throws it back at you in disgust. Tell Sophie the deal's off. She wants her address, she gives me something else. Ask him to take the... I don't know. I don't really want to be running around using my powers on other vampires. Ask him to take the deal? Let's ask him to give us a break. Just because I want to. Just because I want to. I don't want to use... I don't know. Don't know how wise that would be, is to try to use presence on him. He's really old. So let's just ask him to give us a break. Come on, give me a break. How could we have known you've already seen this material? He gives you a patronizing look. Kid, you're new here, so I'll pretend I haven't heard that. You want your address? You're gonna have to work for it. I got just the idea, yeah. Something appropriate for an eager fledgling like yourself. More on that soon. Stay tuned. Oh, I didn't pick the second option. Ask how I could make it up to him. I don't care about this guy. He's horrible. Even though he's a Nosferatu. Now get the fuck out. You're pretty sure you're done here. You get out, close the door behind you, and the car immediately starts backing up. The opaque windows slide by you, and soon the limo is on its way out. Kaiser's lackey is nowhere to be seen, so you make your way to your car and drive back, wondering what tomorrow brings. I don't know. Okay, so more choices. We could go back to Tamika, go back to Hope, go see, what's his name again? Agathon. Go to the Cathedral of St. John the Divine to meet mysterious man here. Or we can go meet Kadir and D'Angelo in Red Hook. So, as I go take a potty break, you guys tell me where you want me to go. I got back with everyone saying, go get your man. I will go get my man. All right, let's do it. I'm so excited. I'm also going to change Kadir's accent that I used in the beginning, and it's totally ripped off from the Primogen. They gave him like almost like a Russian accent. I think it was trying to be Middle Eastern, but it sounded more Russian to me, and I'm like, that's it. That's the one. So it's total ripoff. As you make your way down Clinton Street, the incessant hum of traffic gives way to the ominous silence of the waterfront. You stop to take in the familiar bouquet of the Hudson, made all the more potent by your recently sharpened senses. Across the basin, the Red Hook grain terminal rears its rusty frame, once a bustling industrial area, now a sleeping giant splayed out on the riverbank, forgotten, abandoned. Conveniently so, especially for one of the hidden. Keeping to the shadows, you sneak closer to the dilapidated complex, making your way past hole-ridden silos and wobbly chain-link fences. By the time you reach the entrance to the main building, you can almost feel the rust particles making themselves cozy at the back of your throat. Ugh. Not getting your hopes up, you give the door a slight nudge. To your surprise, it gives almost instantly. Looks like someone's been using it recently. Once inside, you find yourself in a large empty hall. Looking around, you can almost picture it back in its heyday, stacked to the rafters with heavy machinery. And no, Primogen wouldn't copyright me, I don't think. I don't think he could. It's just a voice. Don't copyright me, Primogen. Don't. I know he's not watching because he's streaming it on his own channel, and he's not streaming it until Saturday, so doesn't want to be spoiled. You notice a set of stairs leading up to a mezzanine, most likely an office space, and then you see it, a faint light coming from one of the upper rooms. Looks like you're in luck. Quietly, with bated breath, you climb the steps and approach the dimly lit room. The door creaks open, revealing what looks like an old-timey detective's office, complete with crooked window blinds, an overflowing ashtray, and paper scattered across a wooden desk. Suddenly it hits you, that nagging feeling. This is all too convenient, too inviting. Before you can react, the trap is already sprung. Good job, me. A plume of cigar smoke wafts over your shoulder. The barrel of a gun rubs against your spine. A raspy voice whispers in your ear. Go tell on me. Go run and tell that. I want you to. Let me guess. Took a wrong turn at the third silo? That's hard to say. At the third silo? Rush him. No. That's obviously D'Angelo, so let's just attempt to talk to him. You decide to play along. Raising your arms slowly, you weigh your next words carefully. You're pretty sure a bullet to the back wouldn't kill you, but it doesn't sound too pleasant either. Go for it, Ethan. Go DM him. Traitor. So this isn't Bloodsuckers Anonymous? Let's not do anything rash. Okay? Let's just all be friends. Why can't we be friends? That should be my name. Huddy. And in parentheses, why can't we be... I mean, not parentheses. In quotations, why can't we be friends? Von Schland. Easy now. Let's not do anything rash. That's good advice, kid. I suggest you take it. Anyway, you want to play this? I'm all in. So what'll it be? The easy way or the hot? Oh, I can try to do a New York accent, but I'm not really good at it. I can do my Boston accent. So what'll it be? The easy way or the hard way? Easy. Let's go with easy. I'm here to talk. Good call. In a strange interplay of light and shadow, the stranger reappears behind his desk. I'm sure he knows who you are from the Ceviche video. Seeing him in his full, for lack of a better word, glory, you can't help but smirk. This is the dreaded Nosferatu, which, by the way, Primogen has almost had 1,000 subscribers, and he's so awesome and totally deserves it. The way Sophie described them, you were expecting some grotesque monstrosity, but this guy, the clothes, the swagger, the hard-boiled detective routine, it all comes across as a bad joke. Still, when it comes to appearance, his lineage is undeniable. He's a Nosferatu. From 30 feet away, he could probably pass for a bum with a nasty skin condition. From 5 feet away, he looks like something made to be seen from 30 feet away. A face for radio. He leans back in his chair, casually pointing his gun at you. So, what brings you to my humble office? The Red Hook murders? I could ask if he's D'Angelo, but I'm sure he'll tell me. I'm here about the Red Hook murders. Yeah, that. Nasty business. What's it got to do with me? A lot, if you ask Kadir, aka my boyfriend. A lot, apparently. At least Kadir seems to think so. His expression sours. Not a name you want to casually toss around, kid. But hey, I get it. You're not some random schmuck who wandered in here off the street. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Name's D'Angelo. Gin to my friends, so you can call me D'Angelo. Ass. Who I work for is less important. What I'm working on, however. I know. I'm here to help. I don't watch his videos, but I see you interacting with him on Twitter a lot. It's cool. Yeah, it's weird. I found them on Reddit, like totally by accident. And I saw they had made a couple of videos, and I was like, oh my god, gotta connect with this guy. Somebody else making Vampire Masquerade stuff. Must know who this person is. And it just sort of took off from there. I want to help you catch the killer. His moldy lips twist into a smile. Do you now? D'Angelo lowers his shades. For a few seconds, he sits motionless with his eyes fixed on yours. Suddenly, he raises his gun, almost making you flinch. Almost. Then he Then he twirls it into his shoulder holster in a flashy display that definitely looks like it was practiced. A lot. In front of a mirror. You see the Nosferatu's lips move, but the quiet mumbling clearly isn't meant for your ears. Listening in, you're able to catch snippets of his monologue. Sure, they seem to care. What was the endgame? What was their angle? Everybody's got one, even if they pretend like they don't. Especially then. What the hell? Maybe this town finally got to me. I do find the best from Reddit. That's where I found you, isn't it? Oh, I forgot about that. He pauses, sticks a fresh cigar between his crooked teeth. Maybe a good leap of faith is just what the doctor ordered. Offer him a light. Yes, let's be friends. Why can't we be... As he reaches into his pocket, you flash a lit lighter before his eyes. Or maybe you could use a healthy dose of unhealthy. For a split second, he gives you a puzzled look. Then he leans over to your lighter, puffing on the cig as it catches fire. A wry smile comes back to his lips. I like you, kid. You might look like a used car salesman, but there's just something about you. Tell you what. I was just about to head back to the crime scene, take a look around, refresh my notes. You can tag along if you want to. I could use an assailant. Someone to take notes and make wild assumptions for me to shoot down. Who knows? If you're any good, I might consider making this a long-term arrangement. Sounds good. I'm down, man. Absolutely. Sure it does, kid. I'm the one who said it. Just one more thing. You still got me at a disadvantage here. Seems like you've done some digging on me, but with you, I've barely scratched the surface. You catch my drift? So answer me this. Who was it that sent you into my neck of the woods? Or in layman's terms, who do you work for? I work for Sophie, unfortunately. I work for the Lady of the Clan of Rose. Sophie Langley. For the first time since you got here, the Nosferatu adopts a look of genuine surprise. His eyes wander for a moment, finally giving way to a crooked smile. So you're the one, huh? The fledgling the Toreador dame spared. Yeah, that would make sense. Don't think she'd appreciate you throwing her name around. Thanks for being up front, kid. Oh, is it a secret that she's my patron? I didn't know I was supposed to keep it a secret. Nobody told me that. I'm the best at being covert. I'm like practically a secret agent. True. One blink is enough for you to miss D'Angelo vanishing from his chair. Just when you're about to look around, he reappears right next to you. Up close, his smile is even more unnerving. All right, moonlight's burning. Let's get crackin'. Crack-a-lackin'. With a certain fascination, you watch D'Angelo stumble his way across West Brooklyn. Can't talk anymore. Oddly animated, incessantly scratching his face and neck, stopping every once in a while for a bout of mumbling narration, he is most certainly a sight to behold. Still, he seems to be getting around okay, and you take particular note of the fact that he seems to be choosing the darker, less frequented streets. There is definitely a method to his madness. Eventually, your leprous guide takes a sudden turn off of Van Brunt Street and into a particularly dingy alleyway. The torn pieces of yellow police tape are a dead giveaway. This has to be the place. Well, here we are. Time for you to earn your stripes. This is where they found him, drained dry, not a drop of blood in him. And before you ask, no, I didn't get to see the body, so I don't know if there were any bite marks. Where is my man? I don't know. No, it's definitely not him. So, what can you tell me? You take a moment to examine the crime scene. Judging by the chalk outline on the pavement, the man was killed recently. I love the little animation in the background, living. Curiously, there doesn't appear to be a trace of blood or viscera, and you know the city's cleanup crew isn't that fast or that thorough. Looking up, you notice a spray-painted sign on the wall. It reads, "The Blood Speaks," in big, crooked letters. You look to D'Angelo. The Nosferatu gives you an expecting look. The graffiti looks like a clue. You point at the spray-painted sign. I'm a detective. That looks like a clue. I have a raging clue. Sure, kid. Might as well start with the elephant in the room. What do you think it means? You give the sign a good hard look. It's no Rembrandt. The writing is jagged, clearly done in a hurry. It seems desperate. My thoughts exactly. It's as if someone wanted to get a message across, but was too scared to stick around and write the whole damn book. So we got the abridged version. And then there's the blood, or lack thereof. And given that the murder was committed right here and the victim didn't make a sound, we can therefore conclude that... oh, excuse me. Given that the murder was committed right here and the victim didn't make a sound, the killer is kindred? Is that what he's trying to get at? My clue is pointing this way. Oh, I have my clues over here. My clue's pointing over here now. I'm not exactly picking up what you're putting down, so I'm just gonna see if it's killer is kindred. Bingo. Only a kindred could drain a human this quickly, this quietly. Tell me, if you were to guess, which clan would you say our killer belongs to? The Blood Speaks. Malkavian or Tremere. I don't know. I'd say Tremere, maybe? I haven't even learned about Thin Bloods yet. I think it's funny I would have that option. I'm gonna say Tremere. You guys can put in the comments if you think that's totally stupid, but that's what I'm gonna say. Wait, aren't the Tremere known as blood sorcerers? This was probably some fucked up ritual of theirs. No, that's not what I meant. The Warlocks do tend to get creepy at times, but they're not exactly the Manson family. It's just not their style. I might be jumping to conclusions, but my money's on the Thin Bloods. I don't even know about Thin Bloods, but it gave me the option to suggest it. He pauses, spits out the mangled remains of a cigar. Shit. Looks like we're gonna have to pay Larson a visit. Who? Who's Larson? Geez, you really are new at this, ain't you? Larson, as in Robert Larson, the Thin Blood Primogen. Oh, he's the Thin Blood Primogen? Is that why nobody likes him? The guy in the Lacoste jogging jacket thing? That's why nobody likes him. Well, she should have said so. Not sure if he knows who the killer is, but he could probably make an educated guess. In any case, we'd be doing him a favor. If it turns out one of his is violating the Masquerade, it would put him... oh my god. It would put him in a hell of an awkward position. And I mean shitting upside down awkward. It's the kind of weakness the other Primogen would love to exploit. His position in the council is as bad as it is. He pauses for a moment and mumbles to himself, but it's too quiet for you to make out. Finally, he lights up a fresh cigar. He takes a puff and lets the smoke escape through his crooked smile. All right, kid. Let's get this over with. Compared to the industrial ugliness of Red Hook, Sterling Place is quite a change of scenery. The heavily gentrified and pleasantly dull residential area emanates the sort of peaceful apathy that rich hipsters scoff at and blue-collar workers dream of. All of a sudden, are there rich hipsters? All of a sudden, the Nosferatu stops. It almost seems like he was taking a deep breath, steeling himself for things to come. This is the place. With that, he points to a surprisingly nice-looking two-story house. The place is almost completely dark. Almost. You notice a dim light shining through the curtains of an upper-story window. It's probably safe to assume that the head of the family is working late, especially if the head of the family happens to be a vampire. Okay, kid, we gotta be gentle about this. I'm talking velvet gloves, soft cushions, you rang my lord, gentle. We need to get Larson out here without making a fuss or letting his family see us. If we blow this, he'll shut down like a speakeasy on raid night. Trust me, I know. Yeah, sounds like you two have some history. Sounds about right, but that's a story. I wasn't gonna pick that because I knew he'd be like, there's no time to talk about my past right now. We gotta keep moving. I don't know why I'm talking like some radio announcer from the 1920s, but I am. But that's a story for another time. Right now, let's stick to why we're here. Tell you what, how about you take the lead on this one? I'm curious to see how you handle it. You take a step back and look around the area. The lit up window seems like a safe bet, and now it's just a matter of getting Lars's attention. His and no one else's. Okay, I've been streaming for a couple of hours. I'm actually gonna have to end this here. I gotta take my dog out and stuff and do other stuff. But I want to thank everybody for joining this stream. It was so much fun. I'm loving this game. I wish I didn't have to stop. I wish I could just stream like a Twitch streamer for like 9 hours, but I just can't because I have a real life that I have to live and stuff. But I will be streaming this again tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Central Eastern Time, and which is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll try to go and for the same amount of time, 2 hours or so. Well, ain't this a fine song and dance? That's exactly it. But so yeah, thank you so much, everybody, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. Hope you can join me. Bye-bye.